This is the park that opened in 2015 and received so many visitors. Today being a weekday work hour, and we still have 60, 80 people in the park. This is constant. There is always somebody here enjoying. We've dedicated a great amount of ground plane to public parkland, and so that idea is a public good idea. And that is the magnet that brings people from every corner of the city. And this being a public park, this is the most democratic space in the world.
Welcome to Placemakers series. I'm Carmen Lara, Chief Administrative Officer for Greater SATX, and we're here today with Andres Sandojar, CEO of Hemisfair. Andres, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to learn more. So tell me, what is Hemisfair?
Hemisfair is famous for having been born in 1968 for the World's Fair. It kick-started the hospitality and convention industry in San Antonio, one of the important cylinders of economic return for our city. But decades after the 68 World's Fair, we were still debating how to use this property that was acquired through what I call the dark cloud of Hemisfair, through eminent domain, until 2009, when the prior administration of the city set up the local government corporation that is Hemisfair Park Area Redevelopment Corporation. And that aligned with the 2012 municipal bond that brought the sort of initial investment for the first phase of 3 phases that we're executing for the master plan.
Tell me a little bit more, aside from the public involvement where we have the bond funding that's helped fuel this engine that you have. Tell me a little bit more about the private sector and business partners that have been involved and led up to where we are today.
The city is built to deliver a good park. And the plan for Hemisfair is to have a great park. And our vision is to create one of the world's great public places. And it is very difficult to rely simply on public investment to deliver that level of quality. We have various income streams in addition to the bond funding investment, because there are a series of historic buildings and also enough parcels to triple our dedicated parkland, which we have already accomplished. We have gone from 6 acres of dedicated parkland to almost 20 acres.
Wow.
The neighborhood that existed here and was removed for the fair needs to be brought in this new concept of mixed use, mixed income. We can engage with the private sector to finance, design, build, and operate mixed-use developments that deliver a great deal of residential housing. And at build-out of the 3 phases, we will produce more revenue from various streams than is required to maintain and operate the park in perpetuity. As an example of how we are executing donor recognition, we have developed a partnership with Bank of America in naming the promenade, the Bank of America promenade in the Anaguana Garden. They granted us $750,000. We worked with Bank of America to agree to use that money to fix one of our historic homes. And then, as a follow-on, we will put local businesses in these historic homes. And our goal with these businesses is that they are park activating. So we have set up our lease agreements with these tenants in historic buildings to be a % of gross.
Tell me a little bit more about how you are trying to make this the greater park that you mentioned, and how you're pulling in maybe some world-class contractors or businesses to help design and bring this vision to life.
We uncovered the secret early on, and that is that we need to find world-class designers to do this. Some of them are in town, and some of them with a specific expertise are wherever they are. The first phase is completed already, and it's called Anaguana Garden. It's a play environment, and this play environment was designed by Susan Goldsman, who is a world-renowned play environment designer. And the integration of the locals to bring a San Antonio DNA to what these parks are.
So Andres, you told us a lot about the first phase and hinted a little bit about phase 2 and 3.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit more about phase 2, as I understand that Civic Park and recently broke ground. So
Right.
please explain more.
The excitement about phase 2 is that that is the largest of the 3 parks that we're doing at Hemisfair. It's a total of a $60 million investment for a 9-acre park that includes a continuation of the promenade and then other features that include a large fountain with an art piece and what we call the shallows, which are an acre of fountains that are 18 inches and less in depth. They will help us tell the story of water through the features that we're putting in place, the story of water in our region. Civic Park alone will have over 240 mature trees that we are importing to the site. We know, and it is our secret, that we'll always address shade and water as we go. The idea that you can see water or touch water, and the idea that you can hide under the shade of a beautiful oak or another species that were integrated into the plan. All of them local species. Everything we do is on the sustainable vein.
So on that train of thought, tell me more about what you see as the impact of Hemisfair to our local community.
Not only is there capital investment that then is leveraged to create a multiplier that we have calculated to be 7 times, meaning that if we have, let's say, $100 million of public investment in streets and parks and historic home restoration, we will have $600 million of private capital that will follow that public investment. But then there is a whole series of impacts that include new jobs created. This investment is creating a new sort of pride in our community. But we would like our visitors to feel jealousy. And so we're after that with all of our might. Pride in our community and jealousy by our visitors.
That's a great concept. I love that. Well, I will add, I'm born and raised San Antonian, have lived here all my life, and I feel I have been bringing friends and visitors, family members to Yanaguana Garden to see what's happening and just see all the excitement. So I'm excited about that and excited about the phases 2 and 3 to come. But let me ask you one final question.
Yes.
How would you finish the sentence? 10 years from now, Hemisfair will be an even greater place for blank.
Celebration.
Wonderful. I'm excited to celebrate that with you.
Yes.